Hi book besties, and welcome back to Hand Me the Book. I'm gonna address two elephants in the room. One, yes, I did cut my hair. It was just time. I used to have really short hair when I was in high school and then in college, but I had it for about 10 years and it was just time. So off it went, and this is my new hair, and it'll be like this for a long time because my hair takes forever to grow. And the second elephant in the room, I am wearing a microphone. There's a lot of static background that I've been noticing on my camera, and my husband just picked these out and he said this would really help to take out some of that static. And then also, we live on kind of a busy street, and some of the background noise sometimes I'm worried is getting in the videos, so that should take care of both of those things. Today's video, we're going to be doing a beginning of the year book tag. So I'm going to be going through the questions that were listed on other people's YouTubes, and this tag has been going around, so maybe you've seen other people answering these questions. I can't remember exactly how many there are. 18 questions, so I'll be answering all 18, and I will try to keep my chatting to a minimum, so this video isn't an hour long. But without further ado, let's get started. My first question is, how many books are you planning on reading in 2026? Last year in 2025, I read 75 books, I believe, and that seems to be like a good amount of books for me. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I do work full-time, and in the past I was also going to grad school while I was working full-time, and so even though I had all that work, I felt like 75 was a good stretch goal, and it was challenging, but it wasn't so challenging that I felt like, oh my gosh, I have to meet it, or I have to read a bunch of short books that I don't really want to read in order to meet the goal. So I always want to keep my goals relatively attainable because, like I said in my goals video, I don't want reading to feel like a chore. I don't want it to feel like I have to do all this stuff in order to meet my goals, because then it takes more of the joy out of reading for me. So I think 75 is probably a good goal again for this year. There's going to be a lot of changes happening in our lives this year, so I think 75 books is probably a good goal to try to attain by the end of 2026. The next question is a book that you're likely to reread this year. I had to think about this for a little while because I don't do a ton of rereads, even though I have a bunch of books, and the whole point of me having books is to do the rereads. I just find that there are so many books out there that I haven't read yet, and so even if I have intentions to do a reread, it's just not high on my priority list because I really want to read some stuff that I haven't read yet. But if I had to choose a book to reread, I probably would say either Divine Rivals or one of the Emily Henry books that I haven't read for a while. I watched People We Meet on Vacation with some friends earlier this month when it first came out, and I realized that I didn't remember much of the book at all, so I might reread that one because that was the first Emily Henry book that I ever read, and so I might reread that or Funny Story. It's been a while since I've read an Emily Henry besides her newest one that came out last year, and especially because she doesn't have a new book coming out this year, I think it would be a good time to reread one in like April or May when her books typically come out. Question number 3 is a priority read on your 2026 TBR. I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's Project Hail Mary because I just started it yesterday and the movie comes out in March, so I really wanted to prioritize putting it up pretty early on my TBR for 2026 because I really wanted to read the book before I saw the movie. And I'm really enjoying the book so far. It is very science-y, which I knew it was going to be because it's a science fiction book, but I've read some other science fiction books where they weren't so science-y, so I think it just took me off guard a little bit because I had read some other, maybe more introductory science fiction. I wouldn't say it's off-putting though. I would still say it's very accessible for people who don't know a lot about science, but I do find in my brain when I'm reading some of the math that he's doing or some of the conclusions that he's drawing through like his physics testing and stuff, I'm like, and then I just move on. Question number 4 is an author you won't be reading more books from this year. You know, I'm gonna have to say Cara Bastone. I really tried with her first 2 books. I just cannot stand her female characters, and because of that, I'm out. Question 5 is something new that you want to read this year. I'm taking this as something that's coming out this year that I want to read, and I'm gonna say Annabelle Monahan's new book because she's one of my favorite authors of all time. So I would say her newest novel that's coming out, and I can't remember the name of it, something about Dolly. Dolly All the Time might be the name of it. I love her books, and so that is something new that I would love to read this year, and I probably will prioritize when it comes out it probably comes out in April or May. That seems to be typically the romance timeline for a lot of the authors that I follow. Number 6 is a popular book you want to read. Probably, let's see. I would say The Will of the Many. The Will of the Many has been really popular in the last 6 months or so because the second book came out. So I would say The Will of the Many is probably a really popular book that I want to read in 2026, and it's right there on my TBR, and I've heard nothing but good things about this and the second book, so I'm really eager and excited to read those. Number 7 is the most anticipated 2026 book release, which I feel like I kind of answered in number 5 because I took that as a book that as something new that I wanted to read this year. I'm gonna say, besides Annabelle Monahan's new book, I'm always looking forward to Abby Jimenez's new books. So I'm excited for that one coming out, and I'm excited for Carly Fortune's new book that's coming out in May as well. I can't think of any others off the top of my head, but those would probably be the top 3 that I'm looking forward to most this year. And The Future Saints, which comes out when I'm filming this. I think it comes out in a day or 2, which I'm really eager to read because it sounds like such a good story. So I am really excited to read that this year. And those are the books I'm excited that are coming out this year. Number 8 is a bookish goal for 2026. So I did do my goals in my last video, and so I'll just briefly summarize a few of them. I do want to read a couple classics. I did just pick up Wuthering Heights because I'm listening to it on audiobook. I shouldn't say I picked it up. I'm listening to it on audiobook because I know the movie comes out, I think in February or March, and so I want to read the book before I go to see the movie. This is a common theme. I really like to read the books before I go to see the movie. So I'm trying to finish Wuthering Heights, and then I also have Animal Farm on my TBR. And I wanted to diversify my genres a little bit more because last year I read a lot of romance. For this year, I've read no romance. I know it's only January, but I've read pretty much exclusively science fiction. I lied. I did read a romance. I read Sarah Adams' new book, which I didn't really like, but that's okay. But the rest have all been science fiction so far because they've been the Red Rising series, and now I'm reading Project Hail Mary. So far so good on those goals. Ooh, number 9 is a book on your TBR that you probably won't ever read. I'm gonna turn around and look at my shelf. I'm gonna go ahead and say either Queen of Thieves or The Circus Train because I've had those since probably 2022 and I haven't read them yet, and now it's 2026. So the likelihood that they get shifted up on my priority list to read, maybe ever, is probably slim to none. But they're still gonna stay there because I might wanna read them. And they do sound good, it's just, I never think of them when I'm thinking about what I wanna read next. Number 10 is a series that you wanna read this year. Hands down, the series I wanna read this year the most is Spark of the Everflame. When I've been talking about it or talking to people about it, I've heard nothing but good things. People have always said how great they are, and it feels like a really accessible fantasy world to kind of dive into. And I love that it's YA because I feel like I jive a little bit more with fantasy YA than I do with adult fantasy at times. So I'm really excited to get into that series later this year. I want to finish the Red Rising series first in case Pierce Brown blesses us with the 7th and final book in the series this year, but it might get pushed to next year. But I want to finish Red Rising before I start embarking on a new series. Number 11 is your auto-buy authors going into 2026. Again, I feel like I kind of answered this already, but I'll add a few more. So Abby Jimenez is on there, Annabelle Monahan, Carly Fortune, and then I would say now Pierce Brown, he's up there for me. Rebecca Ross, love her fantasy stuff. I've loved Divine Rivals. Wild Reverence was one of my favorite books last year. I still think about it at times. I would say, who else do I auto-buy things from? That's kind of it, I think. I enjoy other authors, but I feel like at times I want to read them from the library first because I don't love everything that everybody puts out. Sarah Adams is an auto-buy author for me, but I've liked her newer books less and less than I liked some of her older stuff. She just started diving a little bit more into the spice genre, and I wish she hadn't, honestly. And she puts some like context warnings in the beginning of the book, which I do appreciate. Like she says not to read these chapters if you're trying to read spice free, which is nice, but I now feel like some of her characters are so much more lust driven. It's much more about the physical romance than it is about the actual connection that the people have, and that's how I really felt about her most recent book. So I don't know if I will auto-buy her in the future, but she was an auto-buy author for me for a very long time because I really enjoyed her romances and how sweet they were. But these last 2 books that I read, I was just not a fan of, especially this last one, In Your Dreams. It was my least favorite of the When in Rome series. Number 12, a book to show adaptation you're excited about this year. I actually don't know a lot of books that are being adapted this year, so let me look some up. Well, I couldn't find too many TV shows. There were a few movies listed, so I will say Project Hail Mary I'm really excited about. But then I haven't read this Agatha Christie, but I've read some other Agatha Christies. The Seven Dials mystery is becoming a miniseries this year, and I would be excited to watch that because I think that that's going to be really interesting. I like Agatha Christie's novels. I think she's really clever, and I like that her mysteries are very centered on the mystery, and she kind of keeps you guessing until the end. So those would be the things that I think I'm most excited about. I did really enjoy The People We Meet on Vacation adaptation. Even though my friends and I were talking, it was definitely different than the book. I did really enjoy the adaptation and the spin that they put on it, and I feel like you could still see that Emily Henry's story, the core of it was still there, and the core of who Poppy and Alex were still there, and that's what I appreciate in a movie or a TV show adaptation, because obviously not everything in the books can make it into the movie or the TV show, but as long as the core of it is the same and the message of it is the same, I think that I will appreciate it. So those are the things I'm excited to watch this year. Question 13 is a sequel you're anticipating. I would have to say, hands down, it's the last book in the Red Rising series, because even though I haven't finished the series yet, it is one of the best series that I've ever read, and I cannot wait to read the conclusion of this series. Number 14 is bookish things you're leaving in 2025. I think I'm gonna leave buying a new book to soothe myself in 2025, because I ended up just buying a bunch of books that I don't have a ton of time to read. So I'm gonna leave that in last year. I was already kind of doing that at the end of last year, and I'm only gonna buy books that I know or I think I will really enjoy, or books that I know that I've enjoyed from authors previously, or books that would complete a series if I'm really enjoying the series. Number 15 is what to expect from this account. I would say you're gonna find that I'm a very low-key person, and I'm a Christian, and I want my content to be God-honoring. So you'll see a bunch of different things from my account, a bunch of different kinds of reviews and books that I read. I will read romance, historical fiction, fantasy, sci-fi, Christian nonfiction, just regular nonfiction, some literary fiction. I'm always going to give honest takes on my book reviews, but I also like to have fun, so I hope that you will enjoy following along with all of the adventures and the things that I'm going to talk about on this account this year. Number 16 is how your reading taste has evolved from last year. I would say last year I read a lot of romance, and I know I've said that a bunch of times, but I did feel like towards the end of the year, my reading taste really was evolving in the sense that I don't love to read a lot of the fluffy romances that I used to read, and I find myself getting really bored with them. In the summertime, I could probably read a bunch of them because I'm more in the mood for them. But in general, I find that I'm really looking for stories that have a deeper connection and a deeper meaning behind them, more so than I am just like a quick, fun, romantic read. I'm kind of stepping away from the rom-com books and more into books that have more complicated things in them, like grief, or when the characters are really going through something, or they're showing major character growth. Then I would say just the quick and fun, hallmarky type of rom-com that I read in the past. Also, I will say that I'm really enjoying sci-fi for the first time, and that's something that I never thought I would really enjoy reading. So that's another way that my reading taste has changed in the last year. 17 is booktube creators who inspire you. I really enjoy following along with Sarah Caroli, Destiny Sidwell, Haley Pham. I follow, I'm gonna forget her handle, Abigail's Cup of Tea, I think is her account. I really enjoy, those are kind of my main 4 that I watch. Oh, and Rachel Catherine. I follow those 5 all the time and I really enjoy watching their videos. They're always on a playlist for me to just cycle through either in the background while I'm reading or while I'm doing dishes. So I really love those 5 accounts and they are my inspiration and part of the reason why I wanted to start this account. The last question is something you want to say to anyone wanting to start a bookish account. I would say just do it. I have no regrets starting my Bookstagram back in 2022 and no regrets starting this booktube channel. I'm really enjoying it. I have learned about so many new books since I started my Bookstagram and since I got on the booktube side of YouTube as well. Things that I probably would not have read or heard of before if I hadn't been on Instagram or on YouTube on those sides of the platform. So I would say just do it and you're gonna make so many connections with people who live all over the place that like the same things that you like. 2 of my best friends I met through Bookstagram and we talk all the time and I'm just so thankful because there would have been no other way that I really would have met them. So I would say just do it because you have no idea what could be waiting for you on the other side of starting an account. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, please hit like, subscribe, all the YouTube things, and I will see you guys in our next video. Bye!